So it's about time that Cole Frosty steps in and gives his opinions and takes on all of these 9 diss tracks that we've got from this Kendrick and Drake beef that's been going on. Hip hop has never been more alive, it's never been more back. I'm telling my kids about the last few weeks. It's literally been insane. We have lots of great music. So make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's jump into today's tier list. The first song that obviously came out was on the Future and Metro album, We Don't Trust You. We have the Like That record where Kendrick features on it and stirs the pot for him to just come along and say F the big 3 on one of the biggest, best songs of the year. You know, he says, for all your dogs getting buried, it's a K with a 9. I see a pet cemetery. I mean, this was obviously aimed at Drake, and we were just waiting for him to respond, which he does with push-ups. So Like That will be at S. I'm putting push-ups at A because there's been a lot of crazy moments in this beef, and push-ups was a great response from Drake. Now, with everything going on with Rick Ross, you know, BBL Drizzy, you know, trolling him, he's got to address that. He's got to address Metro to shut up and play the drums, which he absolutely cooked him. Metro has not been the same since. His trolls on Twitter failed. His beat that he made, yeah, it's funny, but like, Metro as a producer, shut up, sit on the sideline, buddy. But I just love that Drake, you know, went in on calling him a midget, called him short. He makes it really catchy, you know, playing off, you know, Top Dog, makes him, you know, get up, do push-ups, get in the fucking booth. I love that Drake says he's on top of the mountain. He has to step down to talk down to, you know, Kendrick because he's a lot more popular than him, and he just completely one-ups him, it feels like, on this record. And then Drake, I want to say, like, right after this came out, and I think push-ups, you know, definitely leaked and stirred the pot, you know, the week prior, but Drake does tailor-made freestyle, which he just dropped on Instagram, and I'm gonna put that in B tier. This was absolutely hilarious. You have AI Snoop Dogg and AI Tupac verses where they're basically begging Kendrick to write something crazy, respond, save us, something like that, and I think Tupac's estate got it down, or I'm sure Kendrick wanted them to take it down for disrespecting the West Coast and disrespecting some legends from Compton, from LA. And this was awesome because we knew Kendrick would respond. We were like, yo, TikTok Kendrick, get writing, buddy. Drake's trolling him. He needs to write a triple, quadruple entendre, something crazy. His diss track better be good. Drake, he was winning at this point in the beef. And then Kendrick finally puts out Euphoria, which is an S tier song because this is top tier Kendrick in my opinion. This is the lane I love this guy in. He so clearly hates Drake, hates the way that he walks, he talks, he dresses. Yachty can't save him with his swag either, and he clearly wants the crown. But there's so much to break down about how, you know, Drake tried to cease and desist letter the Like That record and get it off the radio airwaves, and Kendrick had a great response there. I thought it was so funny that he said stuff about, you know, him standing next to Sexy Red. He sees like 2 bad bitches. The one thing I didn't like about this song that even Rick Ross was saying, and Kendrick as well, is that Drake's not black enough, which maybe I can't speak about this as a white person, but I just think it's dumb that Drake was on top of the game for so many years and apparently now he's not black enough. It just doesn't fully make sense to me. Kendrick was like, hey, back to back, I like that record on there. And Kendrick did go back to back, getting this back to an even playing field, swinging the match, and even taking the lead possibly with 616, which I'm gonna put that in B tier as well, which also seemed like a filler diss track, and I like the beat to it and everything, don't get me wrong, but 616 wasn't as crazy. This was telling, hey Drake, you better hurry up now, you better respond with something crazy, it's your move. A line that did not age well was, is OVO working for me? Because we'll dive into that later, but I do like him kind of trolling back at Drake, saying you can't 2C slide out of this one, and you're literally playing games with these Twitter bots and all these trolls and everything. They both got their turn, they both doubled down, and they both talked a lot of shit, and this beef was fantastic at this point because soon after Drake would drop, I think, his biggest bomb in this entire series with Family Matters. This is another S tier. Wow, there's so much to unpack with this song. Is it the fact that he calls Kendrick a fake activist and that he should go back to his hood and plant money trees, which was kind of funny. And then the amount of, you know, Dave Free bars were crazy, to say that Dave Free might even be the father of Kendrick's kid. Now this song is not just at Kendrick, it has 3 different beats in it. The whole middle of the song, he's tearing apart The Weeknd, he's talking about ASAP Rocky, Rick Ross, he's got a whole list to go down. I actually think one of my favorite lines is when he goes into the third part of the song, on the third beat, when he's literally like, Kendrick opens his mouth, someone give him a Grammy for that. Where's your uncle at? I want to talk to the man of the house, which Kendrick's uncle, I guess, infamously is a transgender, as he talked about on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. His auntie is a man now. I think Drake took me out of it for a second because he did not need to talk about his helicopter video, you know, that we've all seen, where he mentions he's the big D, and there's video proof as well. He's not talking about the big three, but this was just insane. This was another fantastic diss track. Euphoria, Family Matters are insane. They're insane diss tracks, and they're so replayable. I mean, I've had all of these songs on repeat, but the craziest thing that happened is in the same night Kendrick responds in what, like 37 minutes, I think someone told me it was. Now, Meet the Grams is going an A, because this song is, yes, very creepy, very dark, and disturbing, honestly. The other songs just have like more replayability, and I feel like they are the better song, so I'm keeping this one at A, even though, yes, lyrically he goes in. The fact that he says to Adonis, hey, your grandfather should have wore a condom, is hilarious, but it also is kind of creepy how he's kind of only talking to Drake's son. But there really at this point is no boundaries when he's calling Drake an actual predator on this song, and he's speaking to his parents, Sandra, Dennis, your son is a terrible person, and I wish like people like him would die, is crazy. So this got dark. You know, this is not a beef where you can be friends after. This was a fantastic move in the war, in the battle, for Kendrick to have this one loaded, ready to go. My thing about this song is part of it also doesn't age well right now where we're sitting in this diss war, because he has this whole verse about Drake having a daughter, which is like the biggest part of the song. Like, oh, does Drake actually have a daughter? Obviously Pusha T years ago in their beef exposed that Drake had a son. So I didn't know if Kendrick was trolling and be like, hey, you have a daughter too, and he just kept writing a verse about his family, whether it was real or not. Feels like Drake's team fed him false information and he took the bait, which, as we know, unless people are lying, again, we don't have full receipts of everything, Kendrick took the bait, and he has an empty verse right now that means nothing. That was an L on Kendrick's part. And another thing people are talking about with this beef, when Kendrick drops the next day, is Kendrick doesn't make as catchy a songs as Drake, and that's just kind of like how it's always been. That's just kind of style of music they make. But Kendrick says, that. I'm dropping a club record. DJ Mustard given one of the most simple but effective West Coast beats of the year. Not Like Us is an S tier, and this whole song is about Drake being a pedophile, but you can dance to it, and they're playing it on the NBA playoffs. Drake makes the club records, Kendrick made a club record, and I absolutely cannot believe the stuff that he said. I mean, we're all sliding around dancing to OV Ho. Drake's going out with your girl or whatever, you know, hide your sister from him, he says. Certified lover boy, certified the file, you try to strike a chord, it's probably a minor. I mean, there's so many lines in here. And then he also goes into Drake using his Atlanta connections to give him more, you know, street cred. And this whole time he's just talking about Drake's a liar, he's a hypocrite, and so many things in pretty much all of these songs. Kendrick doubling down again with this record. It just seems like Kendrick wants it more. I felt like everyone was on Kendrick's side. Everyone's like, damn, he's already dead, like chill, you know. And I was like, yo, Drake, like do something, respond, like you are getting cooked right now. Pedo allegations, I mean, everyone's dancing to this song. I mean, it felt like it was over at this point until Drake responds, I believe a day or two later, with The Heart Part 6. I think that The Heart Part 6 is going in an S after re-listening to it just now, because I think it was so effective and it was a great response from Drake. Now, I don't think as a diss track, he didn't like go in on Kendrick too much. A couple lines he did, but he also had to defend himself. But us finding out, as we know it, that he made Kendrick fall for information about a fake daughter that's 11 years old was a huge W for Drake. And Kendrick's stans aren't respecting The Heart Part 6 enough. I think this response, The Heart Part 6, went super under the radar from Drake because everyone decided after the club record that he lost and it's over with and that he's a pedo. And clearly there's no boundaries on this record because he goes, mother I, talking about Mother I Sober, which I don't know, is that the record where Kendrick talks about where he got molested? Like, there's clearly no boundaries in this whatsoever. Whitney to Kendrick's wife, you can hit me if you need a favor, but when I say hit you back, it's gonna be a lot safer, was my favorite line on this. That is absolutely crazy. Now he's got Kendrick on his heels, giving him allegations about beating his woman, but I feel like by the end of the song, Drake's like trying to go on vacation. Like, he's done at this point. He said what he said. Drake was like, hey, this was a good tune-up. You're not really a worthy opponent, but I'm glad I can, you know, work my pen a bit. He still has a lot of confidence, but he definitely doesn't respect Kendrick at all. But I think this is how my tier list is looking. This beef is insanely close, whether you like it or not. These records are insane. This is a legendary diss battle. But let's talk about who's winning right now. And I want to be completely honest with you. You know, you're going to be waiting for me to say, hey, who's winning? You know, Kendrick, Drake, whatever. It's been back and forth a couple times now after these drops. After all these songs, these responses have been great. It's been super entertaining, but I think we're tied. I feel like we're back at ground zero. And if anything, Kendrick can win, and I feel like he's most likely to win in this beef if he just responds one more time, puts in the dagger. Both had crazy performances and said a lot of crazy stuff. It might be done, the deaths might be settled at this point, and this has been a fantastic past few weeks, but I don't really know if we have a clear winner at this point. I think it's insanely close. But that's my tier list. Let me know in the comments down below what your guys' favorite songs are from this diss battle, and let me know in the comments down below who you guys think is winning this beef. This is insane. As a hip-hop fan, I cannot complain to get all these tracks and witness this in live action and get to talk about it on a video. I'm just glad to be here, man. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. More videos on the way soon. I have a second channel. Subscribe to me there. Twitter, Instagram. Go check me out there, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.